For number 12, it says y plus 8 multiplied by 2y to the third plus y minus 5. And it says, which of the following is equivalent to? Okay, so one of these answers, A, B, C, or D, is going to be equivalent to this. So you are allowed to use your calculator for this entire page. And so if you have your calculators, make sure that you understand that you're not going to be smarter with a calculator. You're just going to be able to go faster, okay? So again, you see variables in the answer choices, and you're going to know to plug in your own number. Start off with the easiest number, which is going to be y equals 2. Okay, so that's a number we're choosing, and you're going to put it in every single time you see a y. So it's going to be 2 plus 8, and 2 times 2 to the third plus 2 minus 5. Okay, so 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 8 times, 2 times 2 is 4. Yeah, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 2 is 18 minus 5. This is going to be 13. Okay, and then this is going to be 10. So 13 times 10 is going to equal 130. This is going to be your target number. Okay, but again, you don't see the numbers, that number in your answer choices. What you got to do is plug it in, and I am going to go straight to the correct answer, which is B. And if you were to plug this in, and again, this is a calculator section, plug it in, and you will see that this is your match made in heaven. Number 14. For number 14, it says, the power in watts P that's generated by a certain electric circuit depends on the current in amperes, I, and can be modeled by the equation. So who cares about all that science stuff that they just said? That confuses me, but just know that that's there to confuse you. But it's okay, they give you the equation right here. They say that this is this plus 180. And it does say that I has to be greater than 3. Which of the following gives the value of I in terms of P? So what do you do with in terms of P? Cross it out. So in the end, what are they trying to have you find? They want you to find what is the value of I. That's our goal, okay? And we know that I has to be greater than 4. So I'm going to say I equals, greater than 3. So I'm going to say it's going to be 4. Plug the number in right here, and all this will equal P. 20 times, and our number is going to be 4 minus 3. And that's a great number because it reduces down to 1, and 1 squared is just 1. So basically, 20 times, this is 4 minus 3 is 1, 1 squared is 1, that's easy, plus 180, which is a nice clean number. P is going to equal 200. Okay, now they didn't ask what does P equal, they asked what does I equal. So we already know that I is 4. And I know that's confusing because you're used to having this be the target number, but when you look at the answer choices, you plug in the P in order to find the I. So we already know our answer is 4, but you don't see 4 in the answer choices. We'll go and plug in, I'm going to go straight to the answer here. I equals 3 plus half square root of P minus 180 over 5. And again, you could use your calculators for this section, but you actually don't need it. Our P was 200. You're going to plug that in right there. So you're basically going to get 200 minus 180, which equals 20. 20 over 5 is square rooted, and that's basically 4. So 4 square rooted is really 2. Okay, so 2 times, and I'm going to put a 1 under here so you know that these two go together, times that plus 3. 3 plus, and these 2's cancel out, to this becomes a 1. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Ding, ding, ding. Match made in heaven. For number 17, what we could use here is a process of elimination. Okay, so I am going to write out the answer choices here. So 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and valid for all. Okay, so it says here, for a homework assignment, Shapur is given the table above and asked to write a function relating the weight of a hammer in ounces, Wm, to the model of the number of the hammer M. That statement right there, it might explain something to you, but for most of you guys who don't know math, that first sentence, you're going to feel like you need to go over the question again. You don't. Because if you look at the next sentence, it says, the function Shapur writes is, so they give it to you. You don't need to figure it out for yourself. It's just explaining it in words, okay? So That's going to be the model number. M is going to be the model number. Okay, so when you look at the graph, your first numbers is 1 and 6. Okay, so if you were to plug in 1, notice that 1 is under a section called model number. And then this is the weight, that's going to be the outcome. So if we plug in the 1 here, that means that it should the outcome should be 6. So if you could put in something like, let's work with one of the numbers here, like 1. So if W of 1 equals 3 times, and you fill in 1 right here, plus 1, this should equal 6, but it's going to be 4. 4 does not equal 6, okay? So we know that that is out. Let's use a number from this section, okay? Let's go to 4. So W of 4, and remember, if it's 4, the output should be, according to your graph, 13. So when you plug it in, 3 times 4 plus 1, that's 12 plus 1 does equal 13. So we know that this one does work, but let's make sure that, well, actually, we know that since 1 didn't work, or A didn't work, it cannot be valid for all. And if it's not valid for all, it's not going to be this. We could just stop right here, and B is your answer. That one was easy using bite-sized pieces and process of elimination. Number 20. It says if the expression x squared plus 10x plus 15 can be factored into, okay, so this is where you need to use a little bit of your vocab. If it says this can be factored into, that's another way of saying it's equal to, okay? So that means that it's equal to x plus 4, x plus 5, plus z. What is z in terms of x? So what do you do with in terms of x? Cross it out. So what do they really want you to know? They want to know what is z, okay? So again, what is the easiest number that we could use? And that's going to be to plug in a number. And we're going to plug in a number like 2. Okay, so we're going to say x equals 2. So we're going to plug it in every single time we see this, okay? And we're going to figure out what we have to solve for z. So it's going to be 2 squared plus 10 times 2 plus 15 equals 2 plus 4, 2 plus 5, plus z. Remember, you could have your calculators here, okay? I don't have one on me right now, so my math might be a little slower. That's going to be 6, and then that's going to be 7 plus z. It's going to be 42 plus z, and this is going to be 35, 39, okay? So we want to isolate because we want to find the z. So what do? Minus 42, minus 42. That's easy enough math I could do in my head. That's going to be negative 3. This is your answer. But again, you don't see your answer in the answer choices. So you go, and if you look at the answer choices, the variables used in A, B, C, D is x. What did we say our x originally was? Is 2. So we're going to plug in 2 to try to find its match made in heaven. Okay, so if you go to answer C, it's x minus 5. Our x is 2. 2 minus 5 equals, ding, 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 match made in heaven.